Welcome to Built for This, the podcast where purpose meets performance. Hosted by business strategist and human behavior specialist Carly Pepin, this show dives into the real stories behind high-growth businesses. Let's bring life to your vision.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. So I am very excited about today. Today's going to be a very cool interview. So I have Michael Wu here, and he is the GM and president of Phison Technology, Inc. Michael is an acclaimed technology expert in the NAND storage sector and boasts over 20 years of industry experience. Over the course of his 17 plus years at Phison, Michael has held positions such as GM, Director of Global Customer Relations, and Project Manager to position Phison as the world's leading NAND storage solution company. Under his leadership at Phison, Michael manages and oversees the company's USA operation to drive sales growth and profitability. During his tenure at Phison, Michael previously coordinated customer activities and support for the North America, South America, and European regions, and provided technical support to design in projects and managing product life cycles. Previously, Michael was the verification engineer at RF Micro Devices. Michael holds a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering and a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from Virginia Tech. So welcome, Michael. Thank you so much for coming.
Great. Thank you for inviting. That sounds like a cool guy. Thank you.
It is a cool guy. I'm very excited to chat with this cool guy. It's fun listening to our bios. So I'd love to dive in with having you explain in more detail what Phison does as a company. And I noticed you have Pascari up on your screen, and we can also dive into a little bit of what that is, because I know that that's something very cool that you guys have as well.
Yeah, of course. You just mentioned about NAND. So in the industry, we just call it NAND flash. So NAND flash is the storage, right? So our company is in the business of making storage accessible for everyone, right? So we started with a USB, get into the SD card, memory card, back in the old days, you have this digital camera going on, SSD that go into the laptop, SSD now going to the cloud, going to the car, and AI, right? So it's the essential storage that where all your data will sit in, and we are the innovation behind that storage devices.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And tell us a little about Pascari, because I noticed you have that highlighted, and I know it's a little different.
Yeah, so Phison, somebody asked me the other day, where has Phison been hiding in the last 2 decades, or more than 2 decades, right? Company started in 2000, right? But from 2000 all the way to 2023, we have been doing controller that manage the operation of the storage, and we make into the entire product stack with our IPs and everything, but mostly under other people's brand. So we call it the private labeling, right? And so you actually did not realize that your HPs, your Dells, a lot of these laptops are all private label by a lot of Taiwanese ODM. So we are the ODM of the storage, NAND flash storage industry. And 2023 is when we are entering the next phase of the company, enterprise in particular, and also future-looking storage. We decided to create a brand that represent a premium storage, represent innovation, represent a lot of value that we want to put behind the brand.
That's cool. And so with Pascari, is that launched where it's still going to customers like HP and Dell? Is it going to direct to consumers? What does that look like?
That's right. Yeah, you do a Google search, Pascari, you see it in the channel, you see it in the retail distribution. In the past, our customer would get a device with kind of, we call it the white label, but now they get a Pascari, a new color, new image, new branding, new storytelling. Yeah. So, but still the same gut that we designed.
Yeah, that's exciting. What made you guys decide to take that route?
Yeah, so it's interesting that you say that. And this is something that a lot of people did not realize. Doing private labeling means that instead of creating, who makes airplane today, right? Airbus and Boeing, right? They make the plane for many airlines, right? And so same thing, right? when we started with the retail, there's many airlines, right? There's a lot of retail brand that has a lot of marketing, branding value. There's hundreds and hundreds of brands. So we just do private labeling, our product go to the customer, great. When we go into kind of an industrial or car business, the number went about from hundreds to maybe in the tens, right? Maybe from 30 to 50 brands, where we still able to get it to the market. But when we move to the data center, wow, this is the big boys game, right? Who play in the game? It's all the people that make the NAND flash. And really, we are not really able to find a brand that we can really deliver all the product that we have. And also the nature of this industry in the enterprise data center, they believe the people who actually create and design the devices, right? So that's why we, in order to amplify our revenue, our exposure, people actually trust what's put in a data center, we create a brand so that we can get in front of the customer instead of somebody kind of represent Phison for the technology. Now we are in front of the customer.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a cool, it's a cool expansion story. I love that. And I'd actually love to dive into a little bit of just you and your journey beginning the USA location, right? So you were in charge of launching this in the USA. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You mean Pascari?
Yeah. Well, even Phison. I know that.
Oh, Phison. Oh, yeah. Yes. I
Yeah.
was the employee number 1 in Phison US.
It's amazing. So that's very cool. It's actually a really cool honor. And tell us a little bit about how you grew it to where it's at today.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, I did not mention that, but this year we're actually celebrating our 25th year anniversary.
Happy
Yay!
anniversary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we actually started building from ground up by the first step is building a good engineering, right? So we started by saying, okay, we have customer here. I need in the early stage focus is like establish like a good technical credibility. I was the first also FAE for Phison US, so I will go into a meetings presenting, but then my real job is really going to the lab, solve problem for the engineering. And we did that for about 7 years before we started to, hey, what can this office really bring benefits and also expand on behalf of the global reach, right? So that's when we start to bring in product development, product marketing, and over time, including business development and marketing, corporate marketing, and also other like administration function for the company.
Amazing. So that started 7 years in. And even today, what does the US version of Phison look like? Because I know you've grown it quite significantly.
Yeah, right now, from one person 18 years ago, right now we have roughly about 85 people. And our office are everywhere across US. So our headquarters is in San Jose, but we have an enterprise validation lab in Colorado, which is a big storage city, right? We have good talent there, and its major function is to take whatever greatness that we design from Taiwan headquarters and validate it as if it's looking from the customer's point of view, right? What the customer will be using this storage for, how are they going to test it? So that's the enterprise lab, about 30 people. And then also we have a CTO office that is a remote team across different states. We have a marketing team that's also spread across different states. We have a big staff mostly in our San Jose headquarters. Yeah, so that's about it. So kind of different functions covering and driving different initiative on behalf of headquarters as well.
Okay. And what made you guys decide to separate it that way, to have like the 2 locations and then just the remote workers as well?
Yeah, actually, I did not realize that. But actually, it started to happen even before the COVID, right? COVID people are kind of saying, okay, it doesn't matter, right? Just hire from different places. But we didn't plan it that way. But it's just that throughout my journey, I just make a lot of friends in the network, companies I really enjoy working with. It's funny, I tell this story, like one of the most critical person that I hire in now is kind of representing or driving a lot of our technology direction. It's actually standing on the other side evaluating me, right? So throughout my career, I just found these people that really nice to work with. And when we are at the right point to expand, I just think of that person. I didn't really care where that person is, and we just make it happen, right? And then same thing, marketing. It was I did not realize that when I hired my first marketing person, it would expand to such a a big footprint, including launch an entire new brand. Again, it's something for my network I know work really well with me, and we just bring it in. And overall, we just even before the COVID, we just established a system how to do that effectively.
Yeah, that's very cool. So mostly as you were expanding, it sounds like you're hiring within your network. Is that something you still try to focus on when you can as the company grows?
Yeah, so we have obviously we have our job recs on the website, but I would say, probably more than 70% of the hiring is through kind of referrals and from network. And also interesting to note that in my first 7 years, which I was primarily focused on just creating a technical support team, I was actually hiring more of a more junior people. But then when we get to a phase where the company really need to, you don't know what you don't know. Phison as an ODM, we don't know what is marketing. We don't know what is creating something that we are a good follower, but we do not know how to create something that we haven't even know, right? So we just start to hire more senior, more experienced people, and most of it we feel more comfortable just hiring from people referrals network, and that's how we get to today.
That's cool. And I know with the marketing dynamic, a lot of the marketing or most of it is handled by the US office. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
We work really close with headquarter. We are like a super team, right? There's just a very different dynamic. Yeah, but you're right. Like we are kind of started the effort, driving the effort, but now it's a good blend of a collaborative effort now.
That's very cool. And what was the decision like? Why was it made to have you guys begin by starting to handle the majority of it?
It didn't plan that way, but I was have at that time we uh we had marketing in the headquarter, but it was not the the in terms of the the corporate branding kind of
Mhm.
marketing. It was more for market planning and things and making roadmaps. You could say that as a program manager. So the where we get into really telling our story, right? It's not about putting 10 pictures in one slide, right? It's about what are the words that describe Phison, right? We are uh, we're a fast mover, we are flexible, we do custom. Like how do we extract what we've been doing in the 20 years
Mhm.
into one concise message? That's what that happened when I hired my first marketing person. And now that team has grown to about 15 people. And then right between where we grow that team, we found that it's good to have a headquarter counterpart. And so we kind of mirror the team to just find a way to kind of work collaborate so we can cover each region's needs. And also on the corporate side, right now we are kind of leading more of a vision for the company.
Hey everyone, it's Carly. If you're really resonating with what we're talking about and want to get clear on what truly drives you, what your core values are, head on over to my website. In the tools and tips section, there is a free values assessment. And this is a quick exercise that's going to help you to uncover what actually matters most with you so you can lead and live with more clarity, fulfillment, and momentum.
That's really cool. That's very cool. So it sounds like you guys have kind of split up the marketing roles in a bit of a sense, but also can still collaborate.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit more about the collaboration dynamic because the USA and Taiwanese, it's also very different culturally. So how have
Yeah.
you learned to bridge that gap?
It's very easy for me because I'm a Taiwanese, but I've been lived in US for almost 25 years. So it's my right hand talking my left hand, right?
It's
No,
awesome.
yeah, that was the joke. That was the joke. I think people underestimate about just the cultural difference, uh, you know, that would impact just the team dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Um, just the culture. I think in the Taiwanese culture and a lot of Asian culture, they kind of embrace fast reaction, fast moving, and also kind of sometimes when there are difference in opinion, you kind of preserve yourself, right? Or maybe say it in a certain way, right? But in the US, it's not about, okay, let's do this, let's do this. Sometimes you see a little bit more, let's step back, let's think about it. And and then also, I also noticed that there's more assertiveness, right, in a Western culture where you're easier or more embraced to have your opinion to be heard, to speak what you want, right? So I think in the early days where both teams are working together, right? There's a lot of friction, right?
Yeah.
I'm not shy to say it, because I think we have walked or improved in a long way since then, right? Yeah, there's just some friction going on about when you have a difference in opinion, how you express it. But I can see from, because I'm both culture, I can see from both sides. Both teams are doing the best for the company. What they have, right, is what's best for the company. So I just have to spend a lot of energy and time to, talk to the left hand, hey, right hand it doesn't mean that way. Talk to the right hand, hey, left hand has the best intention. It doesn't mean that way. And then overall, I think when there's more trust together, and also after the COVID open, there's more time to meet in person. I think people open up and said, hey, we can have different opinion, but we should listen and then come to a compromise.
Yeah, that's great. I'm curious too, because that dynamic of how you're managing the differences in the cultures, how are you able to train that like within the staff so it passes on to your leadership team,
Yeah.
employees?
Yeah, one of the thing I practice myself, and I do this, we have a quarterly town hall meeting. I always say this at the beginning is that, hey, uh, we sometimes all go over the new people org chart. I said, I'm the chief of support, right? So I think the culture that I try to build here, it's all about empowering your staff, and in a way that when you are empowering, it's not
Mhm.
really a top down, right? Oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, because I can tell you, and I can joke about this, is that because during the COVID I was at home, so my wife listened to every single conversation I had, and every Friday I'd like to keep it open. I just talk to employee. I just talk to people that maybe they could be more senior than me that are higher, and just talk about how their work is important, but at the same time, how other people work is important, right? You are there not to prove that you're good, but really it's about how you empower your other teams to do as a good job as you are, right? And the other thing that I kind of also want is that, hey, it doesn't mean that you have to win on every argument, right? Sometimes you lose by winning, right? It's okay sometimes to take a step back and say, hey, you were probably right. or, but, have you think of this, right? So, but how to kind of drop that ego and just say, hey, you may be right. You may be right. I could be wrong, but this is what I think, right? I think I have to practice a lot for myself. I have apologized hundreds of times to my staff member. I mess up sometimes. I yell, and then I call the meeting. I'm sorry. I just do it myself and hope that people kind of do the same and treat each other with empathy and courtesy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do think it's very helpful. Yeah. It's very helpful when we take accountability and we're like, my bad. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
Sometimes I joke with my member that sometimes it's not manipulation, right? You mean it, right?
Yep.
You do this just to make people feel good, and you achieve your purpose. It doesn't cost you anything, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Just maybe a little bit of humbleness. You knock your ego down a little bit, but otherwise,
yeah,
like, it's not that
yeah, yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious too, it sounds like the US division, it does have a lot of autonomy as well, but simultaneously you guys are very collaborative and working incredibly well with Taiwan. So how are you integrating like the two divisions so well? Like what does that look like on the back end?
Yeah. Something that really helped and it will be top of my list would be roughly about 3 years ago, we started this expat program. So it's bringing you know people that have work and familiar and sometimes at the manager level from headquarters and have
Mhm.
them work at the Phison US, right? Obviously, many company or international company, industry, you have, Samsung, you have Hynix, we've seen a lot of this program also run in those respective companies. So I was noticing, why do they keep doing that, right? So we, about 3 years ago, we started to, you have to realize I'm one person. I can't just keep making call for everyone, right? So that means how do we really like breach the culture in the working level? So we start to have this expat program first starting with the test team, later on with some business development team. We are bringing in some also expats in the marketing team and having live and breathe in headquarters and knows all the people, all the connection, and have the ability in the daytime to talk to a group of people in a different culture. We eat together, we drink together, we work together. It really helped duplicate myself into tens of people that can do these things across the board, right? So it has been very successful, and our company is also very open to have more future careers when the expat come over if they feel that it's a good fit for long term. We are flexible in terms of making them a full local staff here to stay permanently. We have a few examples of that. Yeah, so I would say that was something that you may not see in the back end, but that has been working extremely well.
That's very cool. Also, it's a great opportunity for individuals who maybe are interested in making a big move.
Yeah, and surprisingly, you mentioned that many expats actually they were doing a different function after
Mhm.
they move over here, and that to me is something I was surprised to learn because I was like, can I really make a project manager, a business development that can entertain customer, that can do that, and it's one of those things where you discover personalities, and then the double edge, it's a double whammy when you have a really technical person that knows process really well. They're in front of the customer, so when they speak to the schedule, when they speak to the product, wow, people believe it. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it was a kind of a surprise later on when we start to implement this, and it went well.
That
Yeah.
is very cool. That's very cool. Do you guys ever do it in reverse? Do US citizens go to Taiwan?
Hey, that's a great idea. Great idea. I did joke a few times for volunteers, right? But I think that would be very nice also. You know what? I'm gonna jot it down to my agenda. This is my goal this year, right?
That'd be fine.
We want to donate very capable people also back to the headquarters, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
have a different integration. I just wonder, yeah, what they would dive into once they go to Taiwan.
I
And I'm sure
know.
plenty of people would actually be
Yeah,
interested.
give and you shall receive, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm curious, like in the US office as well, what else do you guys strategically handle that's different than the Taiwan office?
Uh, so if you look at to our storage market, who are the biggest trends today? No question, is the data center and the AI. And then if you look at these two regions, which region, if you look at these two segments, which two countries or geographically are kind of advancing, a lot of the technology advances, right? It turned out to be in the US. So we are kind of fortunate that, not that we're, smarter or things like that, but we bear the obligation also being here close to the customer, close to the biggest ecosystem leader that makes the GPUs, that makes the agentic AI, that makes all the latest advancement. A lot of these mega companies are all here in the US. So something that we do a lot here is how do we work with these companies and partners and talk about, hey, what's happening in the next 5 years? Right? What's happening in the next 3 years? Because if we don't do that, and every product takes about a couple years to develop, we are always gonna be a follower, right? And so that mentality change actually, if you ask my CEO KS, by the way, he's a really fun, really great guy. You should meet him sometime. What is the most significant milestone for the company? He will probably tell you is 2019. The collaboration with AMD. At that time, I can tell you the whole storage industry, you have Samsung as number one in terms of delivering the first to market, and everyone is fighting for number two, right? And we took a chance to develop something that nobody kind of believe in. They think it's too early, Gen 4, SSD. And when we offer it, we were the first to market for the first time. And then by the time the second player joined the party, it was 18 months later. So we enjoy a period of time where we are truly the only player in the market. We see the benefit of the visibility, the market share, the revenue that it brings in. And the most important thing is that, we have 5,000 employees now. At that time, we probably have 2,000. All 2,000 employees now think that, hey, I didn't know I can be number one, right? So that
cool.
completely changed all our kind of planning, aggressiveness in investment into something that nobody had done it before. That completely kind of changed the company. So US team is continuing that legacy of trying to lead the technology direction. And it just happened like our marketing, our corporate marketing also driving from here. So not only we are driving towards the latest technology, but we have our partner will hear from everywhere on the website, on our social media, our blog that we also created, about Python and not just direct from us, right? So that works out well.
That's amazing. I'm curious too, like what were you guys doing, thinking about, sometimes not doing to give you that edge in innovation? Because I know that's tough to do.
Sometimes is the sensitiveness to the blend of technology and business. You see a lot of that is in the most valuable company today, right? Jensen very blending the technology savviness with the business. Our CEO have that also in his head, and then very good execution. I have to give some credit to our CEO for his vision. Because some of you're right, some of the calls are hard to make. You could have a round table, you have a scorecard. At the end of the day, who is gonna, the founder, right? Take the call. If it doesn't work, I'll take it on. I think we're able to also kind of, get across those hard decision making, right? Also through just the firmness and the vision from our CEO KS, for certain type of investment. Like Colorado, who would create a brand new team remotely during the COVID? I mean, like when we're talking about bringing the team thought that, okay, we're done. COVID happened, all the business stuff, we're done. And then we commit to it, the entire team. They just crossed their 5-year anniversary, and they were telling us the story. They thought they were done. Yeah, so.
That's very cool. And even in regards to the leadership team over in Taiwan, and are you guys doing regular meetings? How do you guys stay connected so everyone's in the loop and the CEO?
That's the part that we are continuing to work on, to be honest. I have a daily call with my CEO, right? And we have a quarterly meeting. Before then, I usually will talk to my CEO for some of the key message to deliver. He comes over here quite often, so at least once a quarter. So get a chance to talk to the team members. And then about 2 years ago, we started to do this leadership meeting once a year, where we started with the agenda item, but there was a big portion of it. Hey, any questions, just ask, right? That's the agenda. Ask me questions, right? And so you just see a lot of strategic questions and things. And so to summarize this, right, I think the industry that we are in, there's a lot of players, competitions. Also, AI is moving so fast, right? I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing in AI later on. So too much planning may lock you to not moving as fast, because you have to work towards that plan all the time, right? So I think that just right about a general direction planning, but then I can tell you on the daily basis, a lot of dynamic happen, and you have to switch direction a little bit. You have to add a product feature a little bit, right? So that's how we kind of align on kind of a strategy in product by this face-to-face, and also my constant kind of communication with the CEO, and making sure our staff member here are well aligned.
Okay. And do you guys do, like, how long is the daily meeting that you usually do with the CEO? Just curious.
It could be 5 minutes. It could be half an hour. It's just it's less formal than you think. It's a phone call. When he's sleeping, I will type out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are what I want to talk, and he will add 1 and 2. And then when he wakes up, okay, you up? You got your coffee? Your exercise? Good. Okay, and then we'll pick it up and we go. Right? We are a now 13 billion market cap company now. We have 5,000 people now, but we truly kind of run as far as the quickness, right? We run like a startup, right? We just like really fast.
Yeah, it sounds very efficient, because I know if you're doing daily meetings, they're really long. You're probably not going to enjoy them.
No. I would not sign up for that.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing with AI now.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you noticed, right? Ever since AI started to make to the stage about 2 years ago, everything is AI, right? You go to a store, it's an AI monitor. You go to a chair, it's an AI chair.
There's the AI
massage
glasses.
chair.
And,
I play golf, right? I go into a golf shop. You see this club is called AI putter, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine in our storage world, where the data is being stored permanently, locally in what we call the solid state drive, right? People also want to associate themselves with AI, right? So you start to see company that, okay, let's tune the performance a little bit for the AI workload. Let's make a bigger density of the the drive, which is actually one of the hottest commodity now, because when people are building racks and rack of GPU, they want a higher density, so they don't have to have so many racks, right? And because I make the big drive, so it's an AI drive, right? Because it's for AI rack, right? But one thing that we did completely different than the other is, how can we take a NAND flash? You mentioned NAND, NAND flash? Yes, NAND, right? How do we take the NAND, which is the most affordable memory compared to DRAM, right? The dynamic, the cache, right? And also there's also memory RAM on the GPU, right? So the cost of the NAND compared to DRAM, you jump about 50 times more. And then when you jump to another HBM, right? That's maybe another 10 times, right? So right now, the whole AI infrastructure is getting to a point where the GPU is no longer a bottleneck. Guess what? The memory is becoming a bottleneck. That's why you see, many news these recently about memory shortage, how long it's gonna last. Memory has gone up 10 times, 5 times. It's all because of that. Memory has become a bottleneck. So we're thinking, okay, how can I take a NAND flash, something that's much more affordable, and make it use like a cache, something that a GPU can leverage. So we are able to create a brand new application, taking a storage drive, become a cache drive to extend the GPU memory. So why do people care? Well, there's two benefits. One, we can train large models, language model, easily at the tip your laptop, where you have to do it in racks of server before. And also we improve the inference, which is when you use the AI, when you ask a question, prompt a question, when we can turn the storage into something that can store a lot of, we're talking now, right? The context meant. So next time when I talk to you, I don't have to re-intro myself to you. So all that is remembered in a cache. So we're able to kind of reinvent a storage into something that is good for AI training and AI inference, pretty much replacing the DRAM, what DRAM used to do.
Hey everyone, it's Carly. So if this conversation is really hitting home and you want to get a real snapshot of what's working and what's not in your business, head on over to my website in the tools and tips section, and you can have the business performance health check. In just about 15 minutes, you're going to see where the friction is and where your next growth opportunity lies within your company.
Okay. And I'm curious with that, because it sounds like, is that mainly for people, like a company like OpenAI, like they would buy that product versus a consumer like myself? Or is this something where you're seeing it like a consumer like myself would benefit from utilizing that NAND storage?
Oh, good question. So our goal is that you can use it. Everyone can use it. That's our goal. If you look through the internet days, right? In the early 2000s, you start with the infrastructure building of the internet. But do you remember the year, the famous introduction of the smartphone by Apple, 2007?
I don't remember the year, but I remember I was like, this is crazy. I just used to have the little BlackBerry was the most efficient work computer to carry around.
Yeah, so smartphone, the edge devices really unlock the internet. When you build the infrastructure without people using it, it's not going to expand, right? So AI is the same thing. In the last 2 years, people are building billions, hundreds of billions of dollars building infrastructure. And now it's all about using this model, right? Using this model to make money for our subscription and all that. So how does our product kind of make it into your purchases? It's very simple, right? We're thinking like, okay, how do I actually make storage, when it went to a laptop? Why don't I have a portion of my storage become a cache so it runs the AI better? So it also work on a workstation. It also work on if you are a professor, server, you are going to research a topic that and train a lot of data. In the past, you may have to buy a lot of GPU to train your data, and now because we created such a big memory so that your workstation now can train a large model, right? So you actually reduce the cost of ownership for you, for the professor, for corporation that may have to implement a large deployment of the AI to actually reduce the cost of building that same AI.
That's amazing. And I know a lot of companies and even small businesses now are wanting to build and structure their own AI programs just because they don't want things in the cloud. They don't want to connect to the internet. They want it on their
Yeah,
server. So I imagine that's going to be a big game changer. And
right.
and it sounds, I mean, it sounds like you love research and development and innovation. Would that say, like, is that
It's
your main focus when you're at the company? I know you run a lot of other things. Or are there other things that you also focus on a lot?
it's in the blood. You mean me myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I cannot lie to you that I am always an engineering-minded person. And so my marketing head will be very proud of me that I think much, much more as a marketing person now. Now I have a lot of a great influence from the team. But yeah, I always love technology. And I think that to make a technology company successful, leadership have to really love the technology, right? And just be curious and like I said, like we actually invent that AI technology we call adaptive, right? Adaptive by accident, right? When this whole big model come up and there's a large model that's available, and so our engineer will say, hey, I'm requesting 2 million budgets to buy GPUs so that I can take the model and train with my own proprietary data so that it stays with the company. And then it's like, okay, say again, how much? Yeah, 2 million. No way. No way, right? So the engineering did not give up. They just went into the lab, and this is driven by our current headquarters CTO, Lin Wei. And he's like, okay, I still want to do it, right? I still want to do it, but I don't have the money. How do I do it? So it turns out that he discovered that the trick to actually train the big model is to have a big memory. It's not to have a big compute. And and but the trade-off is that when you use the memory, a cheaper memory to enlarge your training capability, you have to wait a longer time, right? Because you are using the memory to trade off the compute. But then he's like, I don't care. I can start my start button. I can have a coffee. I come back 2 hours. I don't need to be like the cloud company that has to every second bring the data back. So it turned out that he discovered that this is a great innovation just to create that memory so he can train the large model. So that whole budget of 2 million become, I think he was telling me about 20,000 US.
Oh, that's great.
And the budget, okay, done, right? And then we start to use it ourselves. And then was like, are there companies like me that need this? So we started to say, okay, let's do this for other companies. So that's how everything got started.
That's very cool. And so that is a very creative dynamic. It sounds like there's a certain level of freedom that these engineers have to go out and explore. Is that something that you guys talk about? Is that like kind of some of the rules and things that they're allowed to do, make mistakes, play, have fun? Because it sounds very exploratory.
Yeah. I can tell you that you have to make a lot of mistakes before you really like understand or figure out. I would say especially specifically AI related, right? Because it's a very new frontier. Yeah, so definitely our company really embrace fail fast, right? And then fix it. Same thing as our we make this controller that control the storage. We always wanted to be first to market, but what happened to the first to market always that you don't get all the features, right? right? But guess what? Because you're the only one, the customer would have to qualify your devices, and then you found out other things. So by the time the second player comes, they are better than your first chip. Always, right? We're never the best. The second player will be best. But by the time that the second to market product go to the market, we already have our second right away, right? That has all the things. So I think we are not afraid to make mistake. We make conscious decision of safeguarding about our quality, making sure it's just a lot of behind the scene, like emulators, increasing the test sets, investing with the people to make sure that it's going to be robust, good enough to run. But our goal is never been make the perfect devices. We want to turn 10 chips in a year instead of making the perfect chip 2 chips per year. Because what happens is if you make 2 chips per year, you will always wait. And by the time you are getting the chip to the bakery oven, we call it the fab. Oh, there's another feature we need to put in. And since we only make 2 chips a year, let's wait another two months. And then let's wait another 2 months. You will never finish your project. Yeah. So we embrace, quick action, but break, run, break, and fix. Right.
And it sounds like you guys are constantly upgrading and just remodeling as you're getting more information yourself on what could be improved.
Yes. So that requires on the technical side, right? It just there's constantly kind of every program. We call it the bugs, not really the bug that bites you, right? Is when we write the software, there's always imperfections, things that So we track every program, how much time we fix every bugs along the way, how fast is the program is, and then we just kind of review post-mortem and then come back to the next one. On the marketing side, it's all about KPI. When you do an event, you have to kind of see how many leads and all that, right? And I would say that if you take a look at our company, 25 years this year, but being a brand company that's in front of the end customer, we're only 2-year rookie, right? So you could imagine when people ask me, okay, which event should we attend? I don't know. Let's try them all, and we'll know. Because you don't try them, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So my friend complained to me, Michael, too many events, right? But then this year, right, we really we know what works, what doesn't work, what gives the best ROI, and then we just consolidated, and then do more web stuff also instead of physical, because physical it's also very physically drained.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, mistakes, and you optimize the next time
Fail
you do it.
fast. Yeah.
Fail fast. Yeah. That's right.
That's amazing. I'm curious too, because it sounds, you guys do so much research and development, innovation in US. Are they also doing it in Taiwan? And are you guys collaborating on that?
Yeah. So how we split up the work is that we focus on a lot of time application, but when it comes to core technology, right? You have to understand this, to make a storage devices, we don't make the memory itself. The memory are made by memory company. There are 7 of them. They have invested in millions. We make the controller. So the controller has to fix every possible anticipated failure coming from every memory. And the thing is, every generation of memory, in terms of possible failures, it becoming higher and higher, but it doesn't matter because everything is our fault. We have to manage everything. So headquarters is really good at the core technology on how to make a reliable device, how to create the best architecture so that the security is good. And then while they are innovating that portion, and also they have a massive Tesla also, right? They could do in scale. They would collab with us and say, hey, how does this look? Can you go and check with the customer? And that's where we kind of also validate with the customers and back and forth. So we take stuff in from the customer, validate with them. We also take their stuff in and then validate with the customer. So we do this a lot, exchange.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And I'm curious too, because as you guys are starting to expand, like what is next for you in the technology realm?
So that's a good question. What's next? We are inspired to move up in the food chain. So I mentioned to you, we started with making a controller, and then we make into a SSD product. And then because of the AI journey, a lot of people may not know how to integrate this special device into a system that's sellable and all that. So we ended up buying a system, put it together ourselves, and then ship the whole system to the customer. So when we do that, we say, okay, I think at the end of the day, customer wants the experience, right? How to provide the best experience. So going forward, definitely we'll continue to innovate on making the storage faster, bigger density. We also innovate on different type of way to use the NAND flash. I mentioned adaptive, use it as a cache. Can we use it in space? We are sending, we have devices that go to space. Can we do it on a compute SSD, all that? But besides this technology part, in terms of the product segment, we're gonna look at these problem more like a solution based, right? We could work with the partners that makes the software, that makes the hardware, and integrate together and provide a full experience to the customer as opposed to selling an SSD to the customer. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
very cool.
that's what our CEO is very CTO also putting themselves in the challenge of that, and not to really compete with our system customer, but really like collaborate with them to come up with a system level solution that could brand it under anyone, right? We are really not, we would like to be a Boeing airplane that makes an airplane, but why can't I design a better customer experience, just everywhere around the plane, right? And deliver the whole service. We just try to do more and something that the customer can do even on the system level.
Oh, that's amazing. So do you guys think you'll have anything under the Pascari brand when you do the whole system level dynamic, or are you just going to be doing other branding for customers, let them brand it for themselves?
Not determined yet, but Pascari will continue to evolve as a premium storage brand. That's our kind of inspiration. And then we are also investing in making softwares that works well with our AI solution. And in terms of branding the whole system devices, at the end of the day, if we are shipping the whole solution to the end customer, heck, it could be even under their brand, right?
Yeah.
So that's not really our focus. Our go-to-market strategy is really about providing the whole solution. But what you will get to branding when you are actually going to mass distribute this product. Like that's why we did the Pascari. Like if you want to buy one piece on Newegg or on some website, you can buy it now, but when you don't have a brand, you can't, right? So on the system level, it's going to be a lot of business to business transaction. They don't really care about what brand it is, and then of course at that time, I'm sure our creative marketing team would advise me, should we create a new brand, Pascari system, or things like that, right? We don't know, right?
Yeah.
And it
That's
could
very
be
cool.
private label as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing everything. This was so interesting. I really appreciate it. I would love for you to also share where people can find out more about the company, the products.
Yeah, so Phison.com is our website. We are also very proud of Pascari.com. Also, it's our enterprise website. And if you want to learn more about NAND flash in general, 5 years ago, we wanted to make the Wikipedia of NAND flash related things. We call it the Phison blog. So Phison blog, Phison blog. So come here to learn about the latest, greatest, just about NAND flash, the company, and our enterprise product in general.
Thank you. I'll put all that in the show notes too, just in case anyone missed it. If you really enjoyed this, make sure to like it, share it with someone who else you thought would be interested or inspired by it. And thank you again, Michael. This was very cool. I really appreciate you hopping on today.
Oh, thank you. Bye.